Picture this. You're cruising down the highway, feeling the wind in your hair and the sun on your face, when suddenly, your car starts acting like a diva on a bad day, jerking, stalling, and throwing tantrums. You start to panic, thinking of all the worst-case scenarios. Could it be a blown engine, a broken transmission, a loose wheel? Before you start pulling your hair out, let us tell you a little secret. The problem might just be a bad coolant temperature sensor. Yes, that tiny, unassuming sensor could be the culprit behind your car's dramatic performance. And we're here to help you figure it out. So take a deep breath, relax, and let's dive into the world of coolant temperature sensors together. Greetings, fellow car enthusiasts. Are you tired of feeling like a helpless passenger in your own car, not knowing what's going on under the hood? Well, fear not, because today's episode of Car Computer Exchange is all about empowering you to take charge of your car's health. We're going to show you how to diagnose a bad coolant temperature sensor so you can avoid those frustrating moments when your car acts like a diva on a bad day. This small but mighty sensor can make a big difference in your car's performance and fuel efficiency. So let's get down to business and learn how to keep it in tip-top shape. So what exactly is a coolant temperature sensor? Simply put, it's a small device that measures the temperature of the engine coolant and sends that information to the car's computer. The computer then uses that data to adjust various engine functions, such as fuel injection, ignition timing, and more. In other words, the coolant temperature sensor is the engine's thermometer, and it plays a crucial role in keeping your car running smoothly. There are now two main types of coolant temperature sensors, thermistors and thermocouples. Thermistors are more commonly used and more known for their accuracy, while thermocouples are less accurate but can handle higher temperatures. Both types work by measuring changes in electrical resistance caused by changes in temperature. Now that you know what a coolant temperature sensor is and how it works, let's talk about where you can find it in your car. In most cars, the coolant temperature sensor is located near the thermostat housing or on the cylinder head. It's usually a small cylindrical device with one or two wires attached to it. If you're having trouble finding it, consult your car's manual or ask a professional mechanic for help. Alright, now let's talk about the juicy stuff. How to tell if your coolant temperature sensor is bad. There are a few common symptoms to watch out for, including incorrect temperature readings. If you're anything like us, you rely on your car's temperature gauge to tell you whether your engine is running hot or cold. But what happens when that gauge is lying to you? That's right, it could be a sign of a faulty coolant temperature sensor. So, if your gauge is reading too high or too low, don't panic just yet. Instead, grab your trusty mechanic's toolkit or your smartphone and let's get to work diagnosing the problem. Engine overheating. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Engine overheating. If you've ever experienced this, you know it's not a laughing matter. An overheated engine can cause serious damage, leaving you with a hefty repair bill and a lot of regret. But did you know that a bad coolant temperature sensor can be the cause of engine overheating? It's true. If your sensor is giving inaccurate readings, your engine might think it's too cold and not turn on the cooling fans. Or it might think it's too hot and go into limp mode, causing the engine to shut down completely. So if you're experiencing engine overheating, it's essential to check your coolant temperature sensor to rule out this common issue. Poor fuel efficiency. If your car is guzzling gas like there's no tomorrow, it could be due to a bad coolant temperature sensor. When the sensor gives incorrect temperature readings, it can cause the engine to run rich, meaning it uses more fuel than necessary. If you're experiencing any of these symptoms, it's essential to get your coolant temperature sensor checked out by a professional mechanic. Ignoring these issues can lead to more significant problems down the line, such as engine damage and decreased performance. Are you following along so far? Let us know in the comments if you've ever had issues with a bad coolant temperature sensor and how you fixed it. Now, let's diagnose the problem. If you suspect a bad coolant temperature sensor, you'll need a few tools, including a multimeter and a scan tool. You don't have those? Don't worry. You can borrow them from your neighbor or just take a trip to the nearest auto parts store. Once you have the tools, the process is relatively simple. Start by checking the resistance of the sensor with a multimeter and comparing the readings to the manufacturer's specifications. If the readings are off, it's time to move on to the scan tool. Use the tool to read the sensor data and diagnose any issues. It's like a doctor's appointment, but for your car. By using this tool, you can detect any potential problems with your car sensors before they become major issues. This can save you time and money in the long run by preventing costly repairs. Now that you've diagnosed the problem, it's time to replace the bad coolant temperature sensor. First, you'll need to gather the necessary tools and materials, including a new sensor, a socket wrench, and some coolant. Then, it's time to get under the hood and access the sensor. Depending on the make and model of your car, this might involve removing some parts, so make sure to have the owner's manual handy. Once you've located a sensor, use the socket wrench to remove it and install the new one in its place. But don't forget, proper installation is key. Make sure to tighten everything properly and refill the coolant as needed. And before you hit the road, make sure to test the new sensor and check for any leaks. It is also recommended to take the car for a short test drive to ensure that the sensor is working properly and there are no other issues. If everything seems fine, you can confidently hit the road without any worries. Alright folks, let's recap what we've learned today. We showed you how to diagnose and replace a bad coolant temperature sensor in your car. We hope you feel confident enough to tackle this issue on your own and avoid any diva-like tantrums in your car. But remember, regular maintenance is key to keeping your car running smoothly. Don't neglect your ride. Give it the love and care it deserves. And if you want more car maintenance tips and guides, don't forget to hit that subscribe button to our channel, Car Computer Exchange. We've got plenty of witty and informative content coming your way, so don't miss out. Plus, we promise, no diva-like tantrums from us. Thanks for tuning in, and until next time, keep those engines purring.